Hi, everybody. Welcome to our second installment of the Midnight Hour, a mini campaign of the Victorian London horror system, The Between. If everybody wants to allow me to victimize them to introduce themselves, I'll start with Nikki today, our channel owner and tech person, as well as player.
Hello, I am Nikki, and I am co-creator here at TTRPG, and you can follow me everywhere online as Halfling_Nikki. Tonight I will be playing Dr. Helena Betancourt. Yeah, that's it.
D.
Hello, my name is D. I'm a voice actor, streamer, musician, and tonight I'll be playing Lefarian.
Caleb.
Hey, I'm Caleb. I'm a mess. I am playing Victor. Maybe he's also a mess. Who knows? He has a cat.
I think we're all a mess right now. Joel, go ahead.
I'm Joel. Hello. I'm also a mess. I'm just a player around town. I go pretty much wherever I'm wanted. And my character, I play Igor, who is very mysterious and is best described as the NPC that sometimes you get to join your party.
Okay, and Cameron, go ahead.
Howdy, y'all. My name's Cameron, and I'm playing Harper tonight.
And I am Max. I am the keeper of this tale, all of the other characters of various varieties, friend or foe. And before we get started, I do want to remind everyone to check out our content warnings. The Between is a horror system. There is blood, there is death, and I don't want anyone to take these things lightly. So if that's not for you and you're going to feel a little queasy in the stomach, I'm not going to be upset if you walk away. You check out some Animal Crossing calming ASMR instead. That is all fine with me. And beyond that, I am offering a free reroll of any die to whichever one of you volunteers to give a recap for the audience of what happened last week. Go ahead, Nikki. Anton.
Muted. Okay, thank you. I haven't really said much, so that's good. Okay, so Anton came to visit us at our Hargrave house and told us that somebody named Cyrus Wilmington was found dead recently, and then his grave had been disturbed and there was nobody in his grave, and that's suspicious. So we decided to go check that out. So we went to the cemetery. The clue that we received was that we could see that the fastenings were busted open by force, and on the inside we could see that there was a body in there, but there's light signs of battery from the inside of the coffin. We went to the Wilmingtons, and Victor felt a presence, and Cyrus's mother was quite distraught and not really all that helpful. And then we went back to the Hargrave house, and then we went and checked out the Taylor, and there was an owl that was at the Wilmingtons that is now also that we found also that night at the Taylors. And Harper pointed out the owl to Victor, so I believe Victor was looking for or following the owl around. And then we asked the Taylor some questions, found out that Cyrus had a girl that he fancied who didn't like him back, and that she smelled like honey and flowers, which I think is relevant. I don't know why, but I feel like that's relevant. And then the Taylor, whose name was George LeVay, was killed. And so we are picking up from seeing George's body outside.
Yes, so as we stand right now, the majority of you have exited the back of the tailor's shop upon hearing a loud thud to find the body of George LeVay, neck kind of torn open, as if a creature of some kind has attacked, with a humanoid of some kind fleeting into the distance away from it, footprints slightly bloodied. Kind of as this commotion takes place, Victor, in the front of the store, the owl does kind of hear the noise, turn its head towards the back, fly to check out what's going on, and as you follow, you're brought kind of just near your party, but to look upon the same scene, as well as the individual runs away. So, what are we doing? You are not required to stay together, but you can stay together, just so everybody knows, audience and players.
Harper just looks, gives a look to the good doctor and Lefarian, just doesn't say anything, and then fucking bolts after the figure running away.
Well, that's
Perfect.
a shame. I like that one.
So I'm trying to think if I should have you roll something more specific, but I think I'm just going to have you use the night move for Harper.
Okay.
So it's when you do something risky or face your fear, and I think it is risky to chase the alleged murderer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
So you can go ahead and roll 2d6 for your night move.
And do I add anything for that?
I think you add whatever skill you think is going to apply to it. So I would assume this would be vitality for you because you're chasing. Yeah.
And because of my my dusk playbook move, I have advantage.
Wonderful.
Oh, I don't even know if I need it. Yeah, that's boxcars. So that's 14.
Oh gosh.
Amazing.
You say 14?
Because
Okay.
I rolled 12 and I have +2.
So on a 12 plus, you do what you intended, or hold steady, and then I will give you an extra benefit or advantage. So first, why don't you tell me what it looks like as you chase down this figure? Are you tackling them? Are you cornering them? What do you intend to do?
Yeah. So as after Harper gives that look, and he, as soon as he gets out of view, he kind of hunches forward and starts running almost on all fours at some points. But stays primarily on his 2 feet. Eventually catches up to this person and does his best to bring a knife across the back of their knee. So any movement is going to be extremely painful and difficult for them.
Okay, so you catch up to the figure. As you get closer, the shape of a young man becomes apparent. You don't see anything too inhuman behind him, like he doesn't have demon wings sticking out or horns or anything like that. You reach out and you deftly slash the back of the knee. And there's no like giant immediate like spurt of blood, but he does kind of buckle and fall to the ground for a moment, and he will take a while to regain his bearings. If there's anything else you want to do, I will consider it part of the same action while he's down.
Yeah, I'll hog tie him so he's not going anywhere.
All right. So you're chasing him from, from behind. He was running first. But then as you kind of flip him over to start restraining him with the tools in your kit, this extra advantage from your roll comes in. You see the hair of the face, vaguely familiar, and then you notice in his jacket the tag of all of the George LeVay tailored products. It becomes apparent to you that this is Cyrus Wilmington. As you're tying him up, his face is bloodied, his teeth caked. It's pretty miserable, and he fights kind of back against you, but he doesn't really say anything. He's just trying to break free of your hold, not very successfully. Everyone else, what are you doing?
When Harper starts chasing, she says, right then. And I'm gonna go look at the body. Because I have a specific move called Beneath the Skin. And when I examine a corpse, I may ask the keeper 2 of the following questions. And I feel like the first one is obvious. And so I'm not going to ask that. But what would, and I don't have to roll for this either, what would an untrained eye overlook here on this body? The first question was how were they killed, and I kind of know that. So
that's valid.
the missing throat kind of gives that away.
Yeah. So the untrained eye might notice, or might not notice, rather, the particular way that the flesh around the throat is teared. An average, forensic examiner or law enforcement officer might chalk this up to, a coyote, another animal with rabies stopping by, but you can tell that the marks on the flesh are smaller and pointed, the teeth don't quite line up with the bite marks of an animal where the snout would be elongated, but the kind of shorter, I hate to say chomps, but chomps. I'm sorry if anyone studies dentistry. I don't know what the word is. No, but that's not like what I'm looking for. Like, I know there's a word for it. Oh,
Like mandible, you mean, or
like the shape of the.
The impression.
bite.
The
The
impression.
Is it just the
The impression.
impression? Yeah,
The
the impression. The impression.
there you go.
Yeah, is closer to that of an omnivorous animal. You can put together by nature of what you've seen, something that is human-esque, humanish. Yeah.
Okay. My second question is, can I take a body part for the child without anyone noticing?
I think that highly depends on what everyone else is doing right now.
I will wait and find out what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, so I know that Igor is probably going to stay with you, but Lefarian and Victor, question mark, what are you doing?
Well, I would imagine that the first thing Lefarian does would be go grab Igor and Victor once this all like kicks off, because I don't think we were all at the back porch, and Lefarian's probably honestly still inside after being like, Victor, darling, I believe the doctor needs your help. And it's just like browsing through things, appreciating the coat, debating taking their money back out of the cash register.
Fair enough.
Absolutely
Alright.
take that money back. Where is the owl?
So the owl right now is this is sort of like behind a building, like between streets. So where this is the back of the building, across is the back of another building where the front would be on the other side of the, like, you know what I'm trying to say
Yes.
right now. So the owl is perched at kind of like the tallest peak of the back of the building that is across. And it's looking down at the scene. It has like the owl thing where its head is like a little bit off, watching intently down as Helena begins to kind of tilt the jaw, examine the wounds, check the coat.
Why is the owl watching?
If Victor is so entrenched with the owl, I say that you can take a body part. What are you taking, though?
Go for it.
Dr. Helena looks at Igor and it says, Igor, dear, why don't you follow Harper? He might need your help.
Of course. Lefarian. I just go distract the last person that was here just because I know what's happening. So it's just.
I am going to take the. What do I want to start with? I'm going to take the feet.
The whole feet.
Both feet, yes.
Oh.
It's both.
He doesn't need them.
He doesn't.
Would it be
Okay.
possible? Would it be possible for me to inconspicuously just put my back down and leave it open next to the good doctor?
I would say that that's completely fine. Even if anyone says it, it definitely could be chalked up to forgetfulness or shock when you're trying to figure out what to do. I can allow that.
Okay.
So the bag is open.
Conveniently. Yeah.
Well,
Ellen,
and I already
this
have
is-
all the tools that I need in my doctor's bag, so just
Yeah,
get out my saw, start sawing them feet
yeah.
off.
Yeah, without being too gory, the doctor expertly severs the feet for whatever reason we don't know, off of George's well-dressed body, as if nothing followed past the end of his trousers to begin with.
This poor man.
I'm going to put the
No, it's
Neck
interesting.
bitten.
It's interesting that Nikki chose that because that actually affects my writing
Nice.
pretty drastically. So
Oh.
interesting. I'm going to put the feet in Igor's bag, and then close
Okay.
it.
All right.
At that point, I'd probably emerging from the store again with Lefarian if he is coming along, and if not, I'll pass by, grab my bag that is already closed, and go towards where Harper disappeared. And
Yeah. So as you're approaching, you see that Harper has pretty thoroughly restrained this figure, and Harper, you can hear Igor approaching you. There's not a lot of noise really going on at this time, so you can hear the footsteps of another person coming up behind you.
Yeah, you gotta stop that shuffle on your right foot. It's easy to hear you.
well, that's good to know. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah,
What's
well,
this?
It's our little friend. He decided to hop his way out of the grave and take a bite out of somebody.
Interesting. Should we call him? Should we carry him back then?
Oh yeah, I got that, and I just kind of put him over my shoulders like I'm carrying a dead deer and head on back.
Yeah.
I follow.
Igor, as you walk behind Harper carrying this figure of maybe what was Cyrus Wilmington, you lock eyes with the figure, and he says nothing, but they're just like the slightest bit luminescent, reflective of like the light of the oil lamps on the street.
Hmm. Interesting.
All right, so we have one dead LeVay, currently unable to walk if he decides to rise like his former apprentice. We have his former apprentice on Harper's shoulder. We have Lefarian with a new coat that is now free.
Gorgeous.
We have Victor, presumably Violet as well, staring at an owl that is watching from across the way.
What is he doing?
He's watching. If you vocalize at him too much, he'll like squawk back at you.
Why? Okay. High quality owl noises.
As Harper closes in with Cyrus, the owl actually kind of comes up and drifts down a floor on the last building, so it's on a closer landing, say the back porch of the other building, like it's watching you to see what you're going to do next. The owl is as invested as you are.
As Harper kind of just very unceremoniously drops Cyrus on the ground next to the dead body, he'll look at Victor and be like, "Where's that owl?" Still watching? Been around the whole time?
It hasn't gone anywhere.
All right. Harper will pull out a pistol and wave it at the owl and be like, "You get the fuck out of here. You hear?"
Out with the night. Before the pistol is even in the air, it's like, fuck no.
Are you threatening an owl?
Goodbye.
We could have become friends.
Why are you threatening an owl?
We could have become
It was
I-
creepy.
Look,
Owls
owls
cannot
are...
be creepy.
Have you seen him?
No. Oh.
It's been following us this whole time.
Right then. And who's this?
Well, that's our little boy. He smells like the grave. He's got dirt all over him, and he's got the blood from biting his the tailor on his all over his mouth. Sorry, a lot of senses going on right now. Yeah, it looks like he's got the tag inside his coat and everything. That's Cyrus. That's
Would you like something that would dull the senses?
No, I'm all right.
If you're offering,
I already gave you so many.
yes, and I have very extravagant evenings. You know this.
When we get back to the Hargrave house, I will give you more.
You are a peach.
Well,
Yeah, I was a little bit distracted. So did he just bite him
Yeah.
apparently that's what it looks like. I think we
and
should...
took his feet?
Hopper, how would we deal with, if we don't want this one to rise again? Is there something we should be doing?
Rise? What assumptions are we making here?
Well, we have Cyrus, who was dead and is now running around.
Yes. You do have a wriggling dead person on your back, so I don't think it's a wild question.
Well, so thinking about that, Harper wants to kind of turn Cyrus over and look at the back of his leg because he said it didn't bleed as much. I want to look at the wound if I can.
The wound on Cyrus or the
Yeah.
wound on, okay. So the, he had been killed by a slash to the neck, either by himself or someone else. That much is unclear. That information does seem to be correct. There's kind of like a, it was clearly cleaned up by whatever like mortuary crew took care of the body originally, but there is kind of like a jagged slash that I don't know everything about mortuary sirens, that was like perhaps covered with makeup or closure that has kind of come open a little bit again in his like running around after having died, that you know you can't really foresee when you are a mortician.
And what about the back of the leg that I split open? You said it didn't bleed as much.
Yeah, the wound is also there. You can see there's like a clean cut in the trousers, and the wound, like where there might be, I guess, I don't know what tendon that is. The
Hamstring.
Yeah, the hamstring that you've slashed through. It's not pleasant looking. It's a little meaty inside, but it's not bleeding out.
Yeah, well, he's dead, so we know that.
He's walking around.
Yeah, but look at the cut. I cut him to slow him down. There's barely any blood. And Harper just sticks his finger and starts moving it around a little bit. Tissue's all dead in there.
He thrashes like he does not want you to touch him.
Oh, calm down, you little baby. Just yeah, he's right proper dead, but he's moving around.
Harper, I must say I do appreciate the grace with which you approach delicate situations.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hmm.
But anyway, stopping this one from getting up, we cut off his head.
Right. Should we burn the body?
Makes sense to me.
I mean, he already doesn't have feet. I feel like he can't really get up.
Yeah. What? Who took the feet?
I think the destruction of the body would be a bit suspicious, no? If this man just up and disappeared with absolutely no trace, and we were the last one seen coming into the shop.
Yeah, even if we weren't seen coming into the shop, we talked to this kid's parents like a few hours ago. They probably knew we were coming here.
If we leave him here and he's found dead, then that's a situation of its own unraveling. That's a bit harder to place us as having any blame. But if we actively get rid of the body, then the case becomes a bit harder to argue.
Well, I know a good pig farm not too far away from here. That would work.
Pig farm. Okay.
I think they're trying to say we should not dispose of the body.
I think we should let the body be found, lest we be unduly connected to something we didn't do.
Well, hold on. I feel like if we show up here, we showed up here pretty conspicuously, and then a body's found. That points right to us, doesn't it?
More than a burnt body would, I feel.
Agreed.
What if we need him?
Why don't we take that body as well?
Oh, joy.
Take them both back. Both can fit on the horse.
Just make the whole first floor smell like
I
corpse.
believe
Sure,
we should
why not?
probably put them in the carriage.
That's a better idea. Right. Igor,
Neither of them quite smell like festering or gross. This is George has just died, so yet to be spoken for on that. But Cyrus mostly smells like dirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Stick them both in the carriage. Put them in the basement. It's fine. Won't stick up the first floor. Be all fine for you, Fairy.
Well, finally, someone's thinking about me. Shall we then?
All right.
Right, Igor? You get the one that's not moving.
Yes, sir. And I pick up with some difficulty the other person because
All right.
I'm not too strong, but also not too weak. I'm average.
Amen to that. All right. So, two questions, I guess, for you guys following this. One, is there anything else that you guys are doing around the area or within the shop before you leave? And the second question is, who is going to be accompanying the bodies in the carriage?
I'm going to clean up any blood before we leave.
Okay. How?
How?
Yeah,
I don't know.
how?
I've never done a murder, but Dr. Betancourt would know.
Okay, that's fair.
Hey.
Yeah, there's it's a little snowy out, so some of the blood has caught on the snow, but you pour some water over it so it dissolves and eventually kind of washes into the pavement. And then scoot some more snow over it. What else, if anything else?
I mean, that's where he died. There shouldn't be too much blood in other places.
While putting Cyrus in the carriage, I'm going to take another piece of rope and just pop it in his mouth. So he can't
I'm
really bite down
so
on anything.
glad that you said that, because I was gonna have to bring this up anyway. You manhandle his mouth open to put something inside of it, and you realize he hasn't been talking because someone's cut his tongue out. He can't
Oh, goddamn.
talk. Yeah.
This is the
you
buddy
poor
that keeps
son of
on
a bitch.
giving, I swear.
Harper's gonna hold his head and force him to look at force Cyrus to look at him and say, "All right, you sorry son of a bitch. Blink at me twice if you're in control."
You see him think, and he blinks once, and then
All right, wink at me if someone's in control, but not you. Right. All right, that's funky. And then finish tying it off the mouth and be like, "Don't go biting anyone now, or I'll pull out your teeth." And Harper will look at Igor and be like, "I've never done that before."
That's right, sir. I'm sure you'll get used to it. I'm going to struggle just enough to put the body in the back. But try to look good, but also I'm not as strong as Harper is. So
yeah.
Igor,
It's-
you're doing
it's
great. Also,
Thank you, sir.
as just a quick question, would you mind switching seats with me? It's so beautiful out tonight, and I think I want to sit not under the carriage hood.
Well,
I-
Lefarian, if you want to experience the outside, you're welcome to ride on the horse with me.
Maybe not in the way you mean, and later for that. But Thank you so much, Igor, you darling. And we'll just trot off to the front and we'll just jump into the seat without Igor actually confirming if they're okay with this.
Dr.
Igor doesn't react. He just turns around and waits by the door until the doctor shows up.
The doctor comes and asks, Harper dear, would you please use your rope on our dear dead friend? I would hate for him to rise as I'm sitting in the carriage with him.
Oh, the one without the feet. Yeah.
Right.
That's fine. Harper will go and tie up the tailor real quick. And that's probably all the rope that he has.
All right. So all unalived people are restrained and we're heading back to the Hargrave house. We're putting them in the basement. When we get there, is that what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else that you guys want to do with them or otherwise tonight in particular?
Once Igor is inside with their bag, I'm going to switch their bag for mine. Well, actually, I do that before Igor even comes back. Like, I now have Igor's bag instead of mine.
Is anyone else in the carriage with us? Because if not, we can switch it there. And
Victor.
never mind.
Yeah, I did it. I'm gonna say that I did it after I put the feet in your bag. I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I'm going to pretend that our bags are identical for this very reason.
I did say I had a doctor's bag exactly like yours before, so it works. Yeah.
It's
Yep.
true.
All right. So
All
yeah,
coming together.
you have two severed appendages with you that you can bring inside as the rest of the group must bring in Cyrus and George's bodies. I could keep asking questions, like just to be that guy, but I'm not going to be that guy. I guess I gotta ask one. What are you doing with the bodies in the basement? How are you keeping them? I guess.
So, thankfully, Harper does have facilities for this. Not
But of
meant
course.
for this. But bring Igor and Harper bring them down. Harper kind of like stops and looks to make sure that no one is really following them, except maybe the doctor. And then we'll lead Igor in and say, "Now, if I catch you telling anyone about this, I'll have your hide. You got it?"
You're more than welcome to it if it leaves my lips.
Very good. And Harper will go and just kind of kick a certain place in a cupboard, and a door will open into a dungeon with several sets of manacles, and say, "Yeah, we can hook them up in here." There's a lot of like ripped and torn and bloody clothes strewn about in there, and a few broken sets of manacles as well.
So, if at any point you need this cleaned, do let me know. And that's all he says. He just keeps tying them up, but that's all he says.
Thank you, Igor.
Of course.
I love you, Igor. All right, so the two of them are left here then for the night, presumably. The rest of you find your way back to your own quarters. Do I want to ask what's happening with the feet now that you're home? Or do I want to leave it alone?
I mean, it is part of my end of the night activity. Like when we move before we move to the next day, I have some things I have to, like, there's questions I have to answer. And the feet will come up in that.
All right, so let's do everyone's end of the night activities then, because I don't have any other questions. But I'm sure other people do. So
So
End of the
as-
night activity. Yeah.
As Harper and Igor go to take the bodies of our friends to this dungeon, I make a beeline. So like as we enter, we go down the stairs. She promptly turns left and goes down a different hallway and into a door that she has keys for, and slip inside. And I have a table in there that is like a like a doctor's, like a coroner or a doctor would have for like helping with patients and things like that. No, more like a coroner than a doctor. And
Do you have that thing that the doctors have where it's like the roll of paper that they like slide down and then they rip it off after every
no. It's more like a coroner's area, and more like a coroner's workspace. And so she goes down and places the feet at the bottom of this table. And it's very sterile in this room and very cold. And she says a few words, and then she says, "All right, dear. Now, I'm not sure if these feet will be appropriate, but we'll do our best and see what else we're able to find for you, and hopefully these are the right feet. Right then, good night, my dear. Mommy's thinking of you." And then I will close the door, lock it back up, and head upstairs to my room.
So shoes of the finest Italian leather, only slightly marred with blood, are left on the table.
Oh no, I removed the shoes. It's just the
Oh. Well, what are we doing with the shoes? Because those aren't cheap shoes.
She is going to clean them and leave them at Igor's door.
Oh, that's actually kind of nice. And like when you don't think about, the other thing. Does anyone else have closing activities that they need to do for their character type or just in general?
There's a moment after Leferian does eventually retire, which is several drinks mixed with opiates that they should not be taking with drinks. And as they return to their room, everything's seen through sort of this almost like haze of like rose-colored swirlings because of the intoxication. And Leferian stumbles over to the mirror. And in the mirror is a reflection, specifically in the mirror of their vanity is a reflection of Leferian that is a bit taller, looks much, not older, but just more weathered and exhausted. And they sit down and put a hand to their head and say, "Don't even start with me. I'm not in the mood for the grandstanding." And the reflection writes in its own blood, reversed because it's a mirror, and it just writes out whore. And Leferian goes, "Oh, original. You're so clever tonight. Been thinking of that one all day, have you?" And it then like smears that off and writes, "You could have done more tonight." And Leferian just stares at it. "Yes, well, try and be better tomorrow." And we'll just collapse onto the bed and like slowly just fade into not even sleep, really, just like unconsciousness, where it's just like out 1 second and awake the next. Yeah.
Okay. That definitely solicits an oeuvre from my soul. Anything for Victor or anything else for Harper or Igor? There doesn't have to be anything. I just want all my bases covered.
I'm just gonna put the shoes away.
Oh, okay.
Apart from
Nice.
that, I don't have anything.
Harper will just go outside on the front steps and sit down in the night and just breathe the cold air deep. Just sit out there for a while before heading back inside to bed.
All right. So, the following morning, the dawn comes. Does anybody have dawn questions on their sheet that they would like to go over and resolve? Nikki.
Mine is, did you have a conversation with the child when no one was looking? And the answer is yes.
Yay. Good job.
I have one as well. Did you express a clear preference for the beautiful over the mundane? And I think Lefarian did that with the picking through the specific coat that they now have, which they did sleep in.
I love that coat. It only exists in my mind, but it's a phenomenal coat in my mind. Anyone else have one?
Harper's got two. Did you use violence to solve a problem? Chasing down our little undead boy. And did you stick out in London society for all the wrong reasons when I closed the shop door and revealed my American accent?
Two successful ones, most definitely. And
I have two as
go
well.
ahead. Yeah.
It's, did you ensure your employer got credit for your triumphs? And I've helped. I gave her the bag with the things for what they were doing. Is the closest I can think of. And then, did you demonstrate obsequious behavior towards your employer in front of others? Which I don't really know what that means.
What is the word? Can you?
Obsequious. Hold on.
Obsequious means obedient or attentive to an excessive or servile degree. And the answer is yes.
And
Yes.
Me and everyone.
Wholeheartedly, yes.
Nice. All right. Well,
I
then there you go.
admittedly have never heard that word before in my life. And they gave me a whole degree in this language.
Nice.
All right.
I have one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's did you have a face-to-face encounter with a dark entity? And the answer is unclear.
The owl.
I love that.
I call back now in my mind to the John Mulaney sketch where he says that you should be able to write "I don't know" on a test. Yeah. Now we don't have to read these aloud, but you can replace these questions with other questions you think might be valuable to your character in the next day cycle, or you can keep these the same for the next day cycle. But you can go ahead and make that choice on your character sheets. Just as we move into the day phase. And at the start of the day phase, no one, maybe besides Igor, who I believe you said woke up early yesterday to take care of the house, no one else really gets to sleep in because it is barely past sunrise when you hear the loud, incessant, and familiar knocking of the person who you can only assume is Anton at the door of the Hargrave house. It is definitely, but actually, I don't think Henry Ford invented business hours yet. He definitely didn't. But it is before 9 a.m. It is maybe somewhere in the late 7s or early 8s when he is knocking for you all. And now I will invite someone to go answer the door as I try to remember how to do a British accent, as I have not in 7 days.
Harper will storm upstairs, moving faster than Igor can to answer the door.
As you're opening the door, you see Igor emerge from the kitchen with an apron on. and then turn around and just go back in.
Thank you. Thank you. Harper will open the door and be like, "No, I'm not from here, but is there some sort of English decency in the morning where you let someone have their tea or whatever to kind of get their wits about them? I feel like that's a violation of that like societal norm."
Anton is, like an average sized man. He's maybe like 5'7" or 5'8", and he's horrified. When you open the door, it's like, and the smile in the way that like you don't know what else to do with your face right now, so you're just smiling out of fear. And he goes, George LeVay didn't stop for his croissant this morning.
Uh-huh.
And I thought this might be pertinent
Who's George
to
LeVay?
your investigation. Cyrus Wilmington's mentor.
Oh. Well, I guess we'll have to stop by the tailor to see about that.
Yes.
You want tea?
You've
Are you
made it.
wearing cologne?
Yes.
You smell good.
I am very unclear as to whether or not you would actually like me inside your home right now.
Well, I invited you in, didn't I?
And after not just one beat of silence, maybe two, he steps inside, kind of sidestepping as far away from you as he possibly can, in the doorway. And walking slowly to a parlor chair and sitting down.
I'll go start rousing everybody, going down to the doctor's door, knocking on it, knocking on Victor's, and then going up to Lefarian's, about to knock on it. And then don't, and then go back downstairs.
The moment that Harper turns around to start doing that, Igor emerges with 1 cup of tea and gives it to Anton, and then goes back to the kitchen.
Good morning, Igor. And he takes his tea. So you are all roused to a state of awakeness. Not Lefarian, who is left in their stupor in bed. It is up to them whether or not they are awakening. But Dr. Betancourt and Victor, you are both you are both roused by a knock of Harper at your doors.
I'm taking my sweet ass time. Cause no, that's too early.
I think Harper will take this opportunity to just go back down and sit opposite our guest and just continue. So we spoke to the mother last night. She said that Cyrus had a fling. You know anything about that?
A fling?
An interest in a young woman.
He shrugs. I wasn't close with these people. I only saw the commotion at the graveyard. It's not uncommon. Let me guess. He liked her. She didn't like him back.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on.
Tale as old as time.
So you just showed up here to give us this little bit of information?
Well, it's not like I can speak into your head. There's no other way for me to contact you. If I sent a note through the post, it would take at least a day. And who's to say if you'll stop by?
Duly noted. Duly noted. Well, I think we have a decent lead. I'm of the opinion that Cyrus got involved with the wrong family that has some interesting proclivities. So I'm
Family?
yeah, the family of this this young woman.
I know nothing of her, but if you have a name, a business I can look after, do let me know.
I honestly forgot.
Okay.
Honestly, at this point, the doctor walks in, fully dressed, ready to start her day. Ah, good morning, Anton.
Morning, Dr. Betancourt.
Good morning, Harper. How did
Morning,
you sleep?
doctor. Oh, I slept fine. Had some coming down from last night. It was good. Good sleep.
Wonderful.
I had
How
just
can we help you, Anton?
I popped in to let you know that this young man's mentor, the co-publisher of his obituary in the paper, he usually comes in to get his morning pastry across the street, other way from the cemetery, and he didn't come in this morning, and I thought it might be pertinent to your investigation, so I came by.
Ah. That is good information to have. You're welcome to have breakfast. I'm sure Igor would be happy to set a place for you.
He's looking between Harper and Dr. Betancourt now.
Now, I'm sure you're also a busy man, so if you prefer to leave, that's totally fine.
Like I said, if there's anything else I can... Sorry, that's me.
Good doctor, do you remember the name of the young girl's family that Cyrus was interested in?
I'm not exactly good with names.
Yeah, it slipped my memory as well. We'll just have to do some investigating on that.
And if you don't want me to come by so much, perhaps you should all stop in the shop to see me next time.
Well, this is our investigation, Anton, and we don't actually need your help. So, if you have information you think is interesting, you may provide it, but I don't see myself coming to tell you anything. Not to be rude about it.
The doctor brings up a good point. Why are you so interested in this situation? Did you have anything to do with Cyrus's disappearance?
No, of course I didn't. It's caused a commotion by my shop. It's had the police running by for the last few days. My business has been in the trash. It's rubbish. I've sold nothing.
Is this about money? I'll send Igor to buy some of your pastries later today. Okay?
He just leaves. He just puts down his teacup, still half full, with tea, and just leaves out the front door.
Politeness.
Not another word.
The
Okay,
moment he closes his go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I come down now as he is walking out the door. And I'll be like, oh, did I miss Anton? No, okay.
Oh, you missed a great time.
Who do you think he's more afraid of, you or me, Hopper?
Well, based off the way he was acting at that door, I'd put my money on me. But it's not to say that you're better at words than I am. I've just got the body to put in the way.
I'm perfectly capable of putting away a body myself. Speaking of, should we go downstairs and check our friends?
We should rouse Lefarian for that, don't y'all think?
Before noon?
Did you not get them earlier?
I think
No.
Victor probably would have heard noises from Lefarian's room. That sounds like the impact of something hitting something else.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they're awake.
God, this early in the morning.
All right. Well,
And
The best
at
time?
their
No,
level,
okay.
like, two different things.
I'll go let them know. I'll bring y'all down after that, and Harper will just run up and say, "Lefarian, when you're done, we're in the basement," and then just leave.
When you're done.
That's
All
the
right.
respectful way to do this.
So, how long are we waiting for Lefarian to join us before we begin discussions?
Have we ever seen Lefarian before, like, noon, 10 a.m.? Like, what time does Lefarian normally come downstairs?
Lefarian has some days where they will come downstairs early, and they are usually weirdly quiet. They will get a black coffee and go back into their room. But for most normal days, it's like noon. Yeah, like usually not really before then.
Yeah, Dr. Betancourt doesn't wait. She heads downstairs.
Yeah.
It's you all head downstairs. Igor emerges and was about to mention that breakfast is ready, but then everybody just kept walking, so he followed.
Oh no!
Or no.
The breakfast smells delicious, darling. We'll eat it when we come back.
I can imagine like the breakfast tray and like the steam just like whiffs off to the side as everyone walks past Igor to go down the stairs.
He goes, sets
All
it
right.
up at the table, prepares Lefarian's breakfast, like in the little dome thing, so it's protected, and puts it aside in front of the chair that they're always ready for, and then goes to follow everybody else.
Igor is so much better than what we deserve. It's fine.
So Harper leads everyone into his kind of like basement room that is primarily almost looks like a trophy gallery. It's got like pieces from alligator cursed monsters of like trophies, various long pointed white hoods that are kind of mounted, different monster trophies all spattered across the room, and then like a shamble of like a mound of pillows on a bed in one corner. Then on the other side, just a rack of various guns of length and size. And then he goes over to the cupboard that he showed Igor and looks at him and says, "Well, forget that threat I made to you yesterday." Kicks it in the appropriate way and opens it up to the dungeon.
This comes as a surprise.
Has this been here the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you not know?
I've never been down here.
Right.
Well, you're welcome anytime.
My tooth just came off.
Wait, what, Max? What?
Sorry, my tooth just came off.
Your whole tooth.
I
Do you have a crown?
had-
Do we need to
Yeah.
pause? Do
Yeah.
we need to take a break?
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing that
Okay, I'm really done about it.
Max!
I
think this is break time. This is where we're stopping. Max!
Let's take a break. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. In what seems to be true to character to this stream, a mild disaster has stricken, but it's okay because it has been remedied, however momentarily. And we're going to jump right back into the action and see if we can finish up the episode as I planned. And I believe we left off with the group at the Hargrave house, and you were all heading into Harper's secret dungeon, TM, to investigate what may have happened with Cyrus and George.
Do you regularly keep people down here?
No.
Then what's it for?
That's a story for a different time. But anyway, Harper moves in, pulling out a pistol as he goes in, like looking around, make sure everyone's where he left them.
If it's any consolation, Master Victor, I have never been down here either until last night. That's why it looks so, he gestures around, American.
I'll give you that.
I take only slight offense to that.
As a person who hangs out in the basement a lot, have I been down here before?
Nope.
Okay.
Secret basement.
Yeah, so they are where you left them. George has not moved or changed in any way. Cyrus in a slightly different position, but still within his manacles or whatever it is you used to keep him up.
Yeah, you moving around, huh? All right. So he doesn't have a tongue, which is why he is not able to talk. So I've got both of his hands. No. I've got both of his hands chained up. How do we feel about releasing one and giving him a utensil to write with?
I suppose that's fine, as long as we keep our distance when he has the implement.
Agreed.
Does he know how to write?
He nods.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
he knows how to write. Are you willing to communicate? Are you going to try to stab me when I give you this thing?
You could roll
Okay.
it to him.
It'll be messy. I'll probably miss. And Harper will go back out into his room, get a quill and a piece of parchment, and come back in and give it to him.
All right. So, you given the parchment, you give him the quill. Which one of his hands are you unchaining?
I look at him. Which one are you right with?
He like wiggles his left.
All right. Go unchain the left and give it to him there.
All right.
I can only assume now he's working with the devil. Okay.
Ask away.
All right.
Yes.
Who cut out your tongue?
I'm scribbling for a second. It says, I don't remember. Think I was still dead, ?
What do you remember? Exactly.
This one's going to be a little while of scribbling. Some dips. Woke up underground, really, really hungry, started panicking, broke out like I was stronger than I should be, tried normal food, wasn't working. Had a squirrel for dinner, question mark. Sorry, crossed out. No clue what to tell anybody. So I just stayed away.
So why'd you chomp on your buddy?
I didn't mean to. Something just took over, question mark.
All right.
Why'd you take his feet?
He just draws a question mark.
Harper will point.
He doesn't
to the
have
body
feet!
Yeah, point to the body in the room.
He jumps like a little.
Helena's
I
much
didn't
better
do
at
that.
being composed than I am. So she just
Yeah.
says,
You didn't do that. Who else could have done it?
she's that's not really relevant. Have you bitten anybody else?
What?
Was George the first person that you bit?
Only human, I think.
And have you seen anybody else since you've been awakened? Perhaps.
Not up close.
What do you remember about dying?
This is another one that will take a while. He's like conflicted in his face. You can see it. And like the quill like stays on the page for a long time, like making like an ink blot. He doesn't really write anything. The wheels are turning. It's not like he's suddenly shut off.
People believe that you did this to yourself.
He writes, I did.
Do you know why?
Certainly not because I wanted to walk around and eat people.
So, just to be clear, did you give yourself to somebody and that's how you died? Or is that what you mean by doing this yourself? Because somehow you turned into this thing.
I offed myself, but I don't know who question mark pause. What question mark pause did this.
I mean, this doesn't seem random. It seems like maybe it was someone you knew.
He shrugs.
Did you know of
What do
any
you know
enemies
about-
of George?
Everybody likes George.
What about this girl? George told us you were seeing a girl. Tell us about her.
Her name was Abigail Davies, by the way. I did remember her name. I just didn't want to tell Anton.
I figured.
Yeah. Cold.
Look, son, you're dead. It's all done.
He writes, I know. I just never thought I would have to explain myself.
Harper will kind of side eye the corpse in the corner Only got to explain one thing.
And he'll write for a little. I will paraphrase. It's kind of a sad tale. Abigail is someone that Cyrus knew his entire life. That he says that he has been in love with for as long as he can remember. And at one point they were friends, and as they got older, they just weren't anymore. And the thought of her marrying some other guy that she doesn't even know when he had expressed his interest for so long was too much for him.
Helena visibly rolls her eyes at that.
Right. So Abigail Davies. You know the name of the suitor?
Yes, he does.
I will put it in the chat. He is Keller, spelled like that.
And we heard that he was out of the country. You know where?
Probably home. Question mark.
Oh, where's his home?
He makes like a shitty, like Swiss flag.
Harper will look at everyone and say, anyone have any more questions? Anything else you want to do?
You remember nothing suspicious or out of the ordinary before you passed? People hanging around you've never seen before? Or weird dreams?
Or owls.
Or owls?
Perks up. He points at you, Victor. There was an owl.
Was there something suspicious about the owl? Our dear Victor here finds the owl very uncomfortable, but we're not sure why.
Hey, Harper's with me on this.
That owl was a little sketchy.
I'm not sure how an owl can be sketchy.
It was watching. Owls usually
That's
just
what
go about
owls
their business.
They
I
They
can-
like
watch.
they watch for like rats and stuff, but like this owl was very specifically watching what we were doing and what he was doing. It was weird.
Yeah, Doc, I can explain a little bit at another time. It's
All right then.
a little complicated.
The owl was suspicious. Anything else? Was there a person with the owl ever? Was the owl showing up in weird times? Were other weird things happening? Were you having weird dreams about the owl? You're really giving us nothing to work with.
It's like very overwhelmed. Like nobody ever gave him a chance to like he can't talk. He's writing.
We're so bad at this.
Owl was mostly normal. Saw it in the day once or twice. That felt weird. When it screeched, it felt too loud. And I once saw it eating, like, he stops. I think it was a rat, question mark, question mark, question mark. But it was still alive. It just swooped down and took it.
Well, that last part just kind of sounds like an owl, but the rest was weird.
Owls swallow whole.
Yeah.
Now, what exactly do you want us to do about you? You can't really go around walking. Everybody knows that you're dead, and you attacked a person. So what would you like us to do about you?
He writes, figure out what I am,
but put me down. And he underlines put me down.
Which order do you want that in?
Can I help more? Question mark.
You might be able to, actually.
Then I'll stay for now.
Have you been out during the day?
he shakes his head no.
Does the sun hurt?
He writes,
It's uncomfortable.
Right. Do you get burns on your skin when you're out in the sun?
Irritation.
I mean, don't we all?
We all...
Maybe he's Irish.
He writes, are you calling me Dracula?
Question mark.
Not outright, but something akin.
Think it might be to... He draws a frowny face. I hate this.
Right. Would you like something to eat?
There's only one thing I would want.
Which is?
Blood.
He just looks at you.
Well, now you understand why we might think you're Dracula.
He doesn't know or what to do. Is my mom okay?
She'll be fine,
Question
dear.
mark.
Is this... Would it be okay if I told her that you didn't unalive yourself?
He looks at George's corpse for a second.
I don't mean to tell her that you're walking around now. I just would like to lie and tell her that you did not try to die by your own hand.
Tell her it was him. I know he'd forgive me.
Thank you. I'm going to go upstairs and look for Lefarian.
Okay.
Now, Victor, you do weird magic stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad we're being honest here. Now, son, as Harper turns back to Caleb, not Caleb. God damn it, it's too many C names. Cyrus. There we go. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Turns back to Cyrus and says, now, one thing that might happen is the curse may have been cast on you with some sort of runes. Are you comfortable with me at least taking off your shirt and seeing if someone's been writing on you?
I think that was a question for Cyrus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. I'm confused because I think that you're talking to Caleb.
Yeah. No, I'm
What did
talking
you
to
ask?
Cyrus.
What did you ask again?
My entire life.
Basically said, sometimes magic is cast using runes written on a body. Are you okay if I take off your shirt and search?
he pauses, but he writes, sure.
All right. And Harper just cuts off the sleeves because he's chained up. So just basically destroys the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any sort of other markings or anything else other than the wound on the neck?
Can I help him look?
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna find anything. Unfortunately, I will.
They're
If
like
someone
two
can,
little
if someone gives
bookmarks.
me, yeah, if someone gives me a good information roll, I will point you in a direction.
What's my information?
Is that reason or presence? Or is information just an ability I just don't have?
No, information is just like one of the. You have like the information move TM. When you search for a clue, conduct research, or otherwise gather information, describe how you're doing so and roll with the appropriate ability.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Hmm.
I think presence is related to magic, so you could probably do presence.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Harper will just kind of search the body, look for puncture wounds, stereotypical puncture wounds on the neck, other signs of manipulation with the body. Because he's technically a corpse, it should have like lasting impressions.
Yeah, you guys can make 2 separate rolls for information rolls because you're going different directions.
Ooh. I got 12.
All right.
Harper got a 9.
Okay. So I will do Harper's 9 first. You find you find a small like gray mark on the back, not like a puncture wound. It's almost like a birthmark would be, but it's like gray instead of like the brownish color of a birthmark. And I guess seeing this, Victor, and recalling some of your magic background and things you know about different legends and beliefs, a story starts to click for you in the mind. A creature like a vampire, but likely predating it in the Polish tradition. And Upir is known to walk at night, is known to drink human blood, and occasionally find themselves with superhuman strength and superhuman kind of levels of volume. But the thing that really makes it click for you is not just a suspicion, is that in some cultures, people believed that Upirs would be born of the night from young men who killed themselves over an unrequited love.
This is really just right on the nose. Amazing. Okay.
It's almost like I wrote it that way.
No, perfect.
You did say that if any of us saw where you were going, we would have like it.
I was like,
caught
damn,
on
I
by
hope
this.
no one's
Yeah,
Polish.
yeah.
I was like,
Is there anything about the owl in that?
He mentioned
because
he mentioned the volume.
because you have the 12, I will allow this as your like mastermind clue for the role. Upir and the Striga, also used in The Witcher, unfortunately for my plotline, though completely uninspired by it, are heavily associated and have a lot of similar beliefs. And sometimes the Striga are associated with the form of an owl or an owl-like creature.
I like it when I am on the right track of things.
I'm so proud of
you. Cool. Okay.
Okay.
You don't think this Abigail is the Striga, and then tried to get him to get like, oh fuck,
I mean, I definitely think that's the next thing we gotta look into.
Oh yeah.
And the owl.
Well, Cyrus, looks like we know what you are. It was no one's fault. Well, I think it was Abigail's fault, personally, but I don't have evidence for that.
Does he still have writing capability, or has the parchment been
No,
removed?
he still got it.
It is I don't think she would.
Well, I appreciate that. But I'm going to investigate this hunch. And if she's not, she's not. If she is, she is. But we've fulfilled that first note.
Where is her house?
That's a good question.
In an effort to not accidentally send anyone watching to like a random place, I'm not going to name an address, just like TV shows only put like 6 digits of a phone number. But he gives you an address.
Mhm.
Amazing. You have been very helpful.
Yeah, much obliged. Victor, I'll be good for now. I'll have a quick talk with Cyrus here.
You want me to go?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go start researching owls.
All right.
Okay.
I research Striga.
Not
just
even the
owls.
creatures, like just owl.
Nope, just owls.
All right.
We'll get there.
And then Harper will kind of sit on his haunches in front of Cyrus. So it's the verdict. You know what you are. If you go out, you're going to hurt other people. Now, if you have a proclivity for that, I can help. If you don't, I can also help.
If I have a proclivity for that,
Question mark.
Harper will kind of look around, see if anyone's there. Igor, are you still in the dungeon?
I haven't moved from my stance by the door.
You are not the only type of creature of that.
he needs some time to think on this one. Because I don't think that there's anything left
For me here. Maybe if I went somewhere else, it would be different. But I don't want to hurt anyone else. And it looks like he's going to write more, but then he just like stops the sentence there.
Well, I'll give you some time. I'm going to lock up your other arm so you don't hurt yourself or anyone else. All right? Harper locks his arm up and then goes to leave.
All right.
And I'm gonna follow Harper out, but as we step out of his secret room, Igor's gonna say, "Well, now that that's not a secret, do you mind if I put it on the calendar to get it cleaned?"
Once a week. All right? It gets
enough.
not as much use as I used to need it, but it does get
Did you
used.
say one?
Thank you, Igor.
Anytime, Nessa.
All right. So, you are done with that for now. I never actually entertained the idea of you guys potentially letting Cyrus live. So now I am thinking about whether or not he would actually want to. And I think he would need some time to ponder that as well. So we will break on that one. Do we want to
spend some more time during the
day phase doing research in the house? Or are you going to move on to try to find Abigail, in which case I would initiate the dusk phase?
I think we could maybe utilize Lefarian in the investigation if Lefarian thinks that they would be an asset to that. Or if Victor wants to pursue that.
I was also going upstairs to look for Lefarian.
Okay, so everybody's looking for you, Lefarian.
When you come out of the basement, Dr. Betancourt, you do see that Lefarian is in the process of buttoning a 3-piece red crushed velvet suit, and has like some of your medical tape wrapped around both hands, and has just a bat. He's sort of like leaned up against the wall where he's standing.
Are you injured?
Only in ways that are of my own design. Apologies.
You're fine.
You've all been interrogating, yes?
Yes, and are any of your little darlings around? Your little followers?
I spent the evening alone, actually. What do you need?
Blood.
Blood?
Yes, but I only need a little, so I could take a pint or so.
Certainly. I believe I can call someone. I will warn you that the person I'm thinking of, it is a thing of theirs. So hopefully it won't make you uncomfortable, but I should be able to find someone.
All have their things.
Right.
It's better to have consent anyway, so.
Surely. I will contact them as quickly as I can.
Thank you.
Yes. Did the other one reanimate?
He did not,
Interesting.
thankfully.
I should return Harper's bat before he takes issue. I did borrow it without asking. So. Coffee. I just made a full pot.
I'll have tea, thank you. And the breakfast that Igor has prepared.
Yes, there's still breakfast.
Oh yes, it's quite good.
Yeah, Helena's
And everybody's
gonna...
drinks of choice too, but that's fine. It probably got a little cold by now.
Lefarian actually makes a point of not drinking their normal Irish coffee and just has a black coffee with the made from the fresh pot. And once everyone else rejoins to at least the first floor, Lefarian says, so you think it's possible that I could be of service somehow in investigating this Miss Abigail, yes?
That, and do you know anything about Striga?
Striga. Sounds Polish. I don't, but I can always tap the vast network, see if a worshipper knows something.
Victor may also be an aid to you on that. But I think that's our main goal now, is Abigail, finding information about Striga, and
Did
taking
you
care of it from there.
did you figure out what our friend is down there?
Yeah, we did. He's called an Upir. It's like a vampire. It, it is a vampire, but a different kind. They come from young men and boys that unlive themselves and comes back. My theory is that this Strika in question, and possibly Abigail, pushed him to the brink so that they could be together and unlive. Wouldn't be the first time I've heard of something like that. There was this back in the States. It was in Florida when I was running with my old crew of hunters. His wife that kept killing her husbands, kept marrying them. Turned out she was a ghost, haunted in this old. Yeah. Anyway, she was a ghost, luring people in, killing them, make them all a whole ghost polygamy family.
We should really perhaps begin to like schedule times where you ingest much more pleasing media.
That wasn't media. It was
Right.
that was-
Yes, I'm saying to offset the horrors of existing in the mortal sphere as we do.
Oh, I've got my vices for that. I appreciate that, though.
Mm.
Well, are we ready to move along to talk to this Abigail?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So,
Before we leave, is there anything that anyone wants to bring with them? Any kind of special equipment, things like that, that we're bringing with us to Abigail's home?
Can I roll some like investigating kind of stuff to figure out like what I know about Striga? So I know
Yeah,
if I
sure.
need any special tools.
you can.
Yeah, you can like do an information.
Yeah,
An
that's
information
gonna
move to
be
research?
10.
All right. Let me see. So it's hard to get the right information within the vast library of the Hargrave House. There are some books that cite the names of these creatures, both Upir and Striga. But a lot of the information seems to be regionally specific. So it's like, this is what the people from this specific town did in this situation. Here's what the specific people in this specific town did with this kind of thing. So there's no real one way to counter it. But in reading this stuff, you do find a number of different countermeasures that might work. Just not one in particular that will. So some of the suggestions you see to keep down a Striga once you've killed them, you can burn the body. Some people say that you are to bury it outside of town and then like place like a large rock over the grave. And others suggest putting small objects in the grave where you bury the body to force the Striga to count them. There are others that are just like kind of absurd sounding to you as like a modern person at the time. the most realistic options seem to be burning the body and decapitating the body.
Lefarian will bring a deck of standard playing cards, but remove all of the jacks.
Helena brings her umbrella, which is actually a sword, and her typical doctor's bag.
Okay. Anyone else? Special equipment?
I'm bringing the same equipment as the doctor, but my umbrella actually is an umbrella.
Gotta be prepared.
Yeah, Harper will change out his pistol for a different one, specifically a Caldwell uppercut, which fires rifle bullets instead of pistol ones, and they will be silver.
Nice. All right. Last call for special equipment. Okay.
My cat.
Yes.
I'll probably add an extra, like, handsaw to my bag, like a surgical saw,
Just in case.
or with the doctor, just in case we need to get some heads.
Cutting off more feet.
Oh no, I have feet. I don't need more feet.
You do with feet. This is bothering me. It's
Oh God, it would bother me to no end if I was. Anyway, geared up and ready to go. You head over to the address provided to you by Cyrus for Abigail's house. Abigail lives in a rather nice part of town. Her house is considerably larger than Cyrus's when you visited. It is kind of gated by the sort of the fence that it's like the black rods, and then it has like one that goes like kind of around the top of it. It has a second accompanying building, slightly taller and thinner, sort of lighthouse-ish or lighthouse-inspired in its architecture. And yeah, the grounds are obviously frequently tended. The path behind the gate that goes to the door is all shoveled out from the snow and not as iced over. And yeah, you're there. This is where Abigail lives.
Similar to when we went to Cyrus's house, I would like to set Violet out and have her walk around again. Just walk around the building.
Okay.
Also,
So-
as a note to delineate the orders to the worshippers, when we're on our carriage ride to this place, Lefarian will guide to go roundabout ways to pass out like, hey, I need this person. Can you look into this for me? That's when those like requests are put into the network.
And
Okay.
along the way, Victor is given a flask of alcohol by Igor, just seemingly randomly.
Nice. All right. All right. So Lefarian, you put out those orders and requests for people willing to perform such tasks. And if they are, they're supposed to report to you at the house. Is this okay?
Just in the dawn, like
In the dawn.
tomorrow
Okay.
morning.
Victor is provided alcohol and Violet is on a stroll. So Violet slips through the gate easily. It'll keep humans out, but like Violet's a fucking cat. It takes her a little while to get around, just because it's bigger. The vibe is generally calm, curious. At one point, Violet stops, and there's like a feeling of warmth. You know that this means that someone is petting her. Just for a little bit. Some curiosity as continued, I guess, as you see her circle the other side of the building and come up on the second structure. She sniffs around, like there's interest there, but nothing is found or no open door to sneak in, so she continues back towards the gate and comes out to meet you again.
Who is petting her? Okay. Okay.
Well,
Seems clear.
all right. Lefarian, I believe it's your turn.
Right. And Lefarian's been weirdly quiet on the way here, but will take out one of the blunt, shorter cigarettes and take a drag that's probably 75% of the cigarette before flicking it and donning just their long snow cloak and approaching the door and knocking.
So yeah, I suppose the gate is unlocked at this time once you fiddle with it and push it open, because there's no guard outside or anything like that. But when you knock at the door, someone answers through it without opening it. And it is just who is it?
Good evening. My name is Lefarian. I'm here with a few of my compatriots to ask some questions to Miss Abigail Davies.
And what business do you have with Miss Davies?
I'd like to ask her some questions.
About?
That is a private matter, unfortunately. Is she not available? I could come back tomorrow.
What was your name again?
Lefarian.
You hear another lock click shut on the door and says, "We'll be with you in a moment."
Take your time.
And footsteps head away. And you are left there for a few minutes, and eventually 2 sets of footsteps return. Another voice, which I can't differentiate very well because I'm not the best at voices, but another voice now converses with the first, and it goes, "No, I said I didn't know what Lefarian. I have no idea who this bloke is. Did they say what they want with me?" No, ma'am. They did not. And she speaks up. She goes, "Abigail speaking? Do I know you?"
No, you do not. We were looking to ask you some questions related to someone that we think you may have known.
Is everything okay?
Pretty concisely not, no.
I'm so conflicted. Roll presence.
Roll presence.
I'll let the
Yeah,
dice
let's
decide.
get that. That's a 12. I got a 4 and a 9.
All right.
4 and a 5, I mean.
And she goes, all right, let them in. If there's this many people at the door, then it must be important. I'll just see them in the sunroom. Okay. And the first voice that spoke to you was okay. Says okay. Locks on the door, unlock, and to that sentence didn't actually have a good ending. You are greeted with the sight of an older woman, middle-aged, in a uniform, likely a housekeeper or someone who does like a grounds or house maintenance for the family, and a second younger person, a young woman with dark hair that flows down her shoulders, currently dressed not in anything overly formal, but not in her dressing room either. You can assume that this is Abigail. She is very pretty. She is very, very pretty. Kind of like Snow White looking almost, I guess. You see where the dude was coming from. And she leads you through the house. You pass kind of just a posh way to exist. The rugs are nice and there isn't dirt tracked in on them. The railings of the main staircase curve with small statues placed upon them. And you're led into the back to a sunroom. There's like a fire lit in a fireplace there. But in the summer, it would usually overlook a garden, which is currently snowed over, in the back of the house. Back there, I will give this to you, Caleb. There is someone shoveling out the walkways who likely was the one who pet Violet, a younger man. And you are all allowed to sit on the couches there. And I believe that is where we should end today, given our time constraints. So thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed our investigative duties today, and they will continue into the next episode. And before we go, I will have everybody do their plugs and let you know where you can find them on the internet. Cameron, you can go ahead and start that.
Hi, hey everybody. My name is Cameron Blair. I'm a TRPG writer, designer, all that nonsense. You can find me on at worldsmith_cam. I just released a new paladin class option called the Oath of the Masses. Very focused on coordination with your other team members, heroes. Also focusing on community building and where you get your magic from the people, not a god. So please check it out. I would really appreciate it.
Joel.
I am Joel. I am typically seen over on the Talking XP Twitch streams where I play a halfling wizard with ice magic and an owl called Johans. It's just really funny to see the other side of the owls. Thanks to those game. Yeah. Apart from that, I'm also a writer. I have a Patreon. I don't really promote it too much because I'm in the process of rewriting a lot of my older stories to be more akin to who I am today. But that's what I do. You can find me on Twitter at ZX Shadow Ace XZ. That's about it.
Caleb.
Hey, I'm Caleb. As I said, I am a mess. I am a streamer on occasion. I am working on getting my own channel started in the new year, so watch for that soon, hopefully. Tech abiding. But for now, follow me on Twitter at extracandy_. I yell a lot, but it's a fun time.
And Nikki. Oh, I think I was supposed to go D, Nikki. Whatever. Nikki, go.
Yeah, I was not ready. I'm Nikki. I'm an educator, streamer, LGBTQ, and disability advocate for teachers. I am doing just this right now. But join us in January. So starting January 8th, we will have an Avatar: The Last Airbender stream. And I'm really excited about the cast for that. Our first episode will have a different cast than the rest of the series. And so you're definitely in for a treat. It's going to be really fun and super cool. And the GM is awesome.
E.
Hi. That's not how you start your outro, as D. Hello, my lovely creatures of the dark. My name is D. I am a voice actor, streamer, musician. On Mondays, you can catch me over the Critical Misses channel for King's Card, a Roll20 spotlight show where I play a Deizuko in a D&D 5e homebrew world run by the Noir Enigma. On Tuesdays, obviously, you can catch me here. On Wednesdays, you can catch me on the Critical Misses channel where I am the mastermind behind Blue Ghosts, which is a Blades in the Dark homebrew campaign of my own making, where I run both Max and some other lovely people through my twisted world of shenanigans and ghost girlfriends. On Thursdays, you can catch me on my channel for the greatest team in all of esports. I am esports, thank you very much. And we are the Dub Club. We've never lost a single game. We've only won games. There's no need to check the VOD because I just spoiled what happens for you. So, don't check. On Fridays, I usually stream on my own channel. On the weekends, I sleep, and I am the retaining TTRPG Universal Champion. And if you want to figure out how you can win a championship belt that you can show off at all your convention friends, follow me on Twitter at It's the Riddler. Thank you so much for coming out.
I am Max. You can find me anywhere that I want you to find me on the internet at Arcane Goth. As Harper, who is one of Dee's castmates in some other things, very nicely told me last week, I do the hard work of making fictional characters kiss each other. If you follow me, you know that I write a lot. You can find me here for the next Tuesdays, for the second half to close out this campaign. And on Wednesdays, you can find me with D on Critical Misses, doing Blades in the Dark, me being slightly less unhinged than I wanted my character to be, but somehow happier with that decision as the play goes on. Other than that, I am pretty much all unbooked. I really want to run Mothership, so if you run a channel and you want me to run Mothership, I will do it for you. And on Fridays, you can find me definitely not online because I'm trying to play some games for myself also this year. That is I think resolutions are stupid, but that is my goal. Until next week, don't let vampires, Upir, Striga, or any other weird blood-drinking creature from a European legend or myth bite you. Everybody have a good night.